Chaffee County's economy is pretty diverse for a rural area. Beyond tourism, we've got healthcare, agriculture, a decent amount of construction and trades, and a strong small business presence. More recently, we've seen a growth in the number of remote workers and folks bringing their businesses right with them into the county to live and work here. So all of this creates relatively steady local demand. It's not just seasonal or vacation homes anymore, and that doesn't drive demand more than anything else. So that helps keep our market more stable. Infrastructure is another piece of the puzzle that's really easy to overlook, such as broadband expansion, and that's a big one right now we need to be watching. In some areas of the county, internet access has historically been a huge challenge, and for people working remotely or managing a business from home, that could be a total deal breaker. So as broadband access improves, it brings certain properties into the spotlight that maybe wouldn't have been as appealing a few years ago. The same goes for road improvements. We have a lot of dirt roads, and as they're improving roads and paving roads or doing county maintained roads, that makes daily living go a little more smoothly. So pay attention to that. And of course, we can't ignore interest rates. They affect every market, and our county is no exception. That's a huge economic factor. And over the past year or so, we've seen buyers adjusting their budgets and sellers adjusting their expectations based on those rates. That has softened demand, but overall, we still have more buyers than we have sellers. And we especially have that in the mid-range price point, like $600,000 to $800,000. So while rates are important, they're just one part of the equation. These local factors that affect the economy often outweigh national factors. Second home demand is another huge economic factor here. We have a lot of people who don't live here full-time, but they own property. So sometimes it's a family cabin, and sometimes it's income producing, like a short-term rental. Sometimes it's just a piece of land to camp on over the summer. And it's 50-50. It's about 50% owner occupied and 50% not in our county. So that demand isn't going away anytime soon. Not all of those are short-term rentals. Many of them are long-term rentals, but these places are getting a lot of attention as destination towns, but the regulations around these short-term rentals have tightened, causing buyers to become much more thoughtful and careful about how they purchase and use these properties, because not every vacation home is going to make sense as an Airbnb with the new regulations that we have. The shift is starting to show up in how people buy and how they price things. Finally, we have to talk about environmental considerations because this is Colorado. We have wildfire risk, we have water availability, even the snowpack matters, hail. All of these things can increase insurance costs or cause concern in high-risk zones. So some owners are getting more careful to buy things that are tucked away up in the hills with limited access to, a fire station or water. And at the same time, we have seen a growth in the demand for sustainable properties with like solar and greenhouses that they can be self-sufficient at those places. So when you step back and look at all of these economic factors, I listed a ton: tourism, population growth, diversification, economic constraints, second home demand, environmental issues. It really shows how complex the Chaffee County real estate market is. If you're thinking about buying here, it's important to understand that these forces are all at play so you can make a smart, long-term decision. And if you are a homeowner thinking about selling, this kind of context helps you position your property for the right buyer at the right price. If you have questions about how any of this might apply to your specific situation, I'm always happy to talk through it with you and help you understand some of the things that might be in needing to factor in your property. So just reach out. My contact info is below. If you found this helpful, please subscribe, share it with somebody you know who might need this information too, or be interested in buying or selling in the mountains. I'm Jessica Cheriton with Heart of the Rockies Homes at HomeSmart Preferred Realty, and I love creating this content for you on Chaffee County real estate. Talk to you soon.